Hello, happy Friday. Welcome to our Friday witchy live stream. We do this every single Friday where we all get together on the etherwebs and we share our energies and we share our lives and we dip into an often very juicy topic. And today's juicy topic is, what have they said about you? What are they saying about you? Because I mentioned last week that I used to do these kind of more chit-chatty, gossipy readings. I really like to do that because I am a nosy person and I haven't done one in a while. So we're just going to pop the hood and see what has this person or people, or what is anybody in general. You could also approach it like that, even if you don't have a certain person in mind, but just what is being said about you. So we have 3 piles as per usual. We've got these 3 here, and if you have not already selected your pile, now is a good time to go ahead and do that. But actually, before we get into the piles, we do have an anchor card today. The anchor card is not one of the choices, but it's just a rooted energy, a base energy that has that goes into all the piles. Sometimes anchor cards come out whenever we shuffle, and sometimes they don't. And I just like to share whenever they do, because I know a lot of people here are intuitive. You do read tarot cards, and so sometimes there can be a clarifying message that might be specific to you that doesn't necessarily come out in like the general energy. And so here is that anchor card. So do with that what you will, but it is the tear energy. So that's the anchor card. And we're getting back into our choices. So we got 3 piles here. We have pile number 1, which is the poet. Pile number 2, which is the mentor. And pile number 3, which is the hunter. So we got those 3 piles. And even if you have selected your pile, this is the time in the live stream where we just like to take a second to at least drop our energy, take a full breath, because as you know, 1 full breath is a meditation. So this is just a good time to connect with yourself, center yourself, ground yourself, whatever it is. I like to close my eyes, just turn the gaze inwards, and just allow your energy to drop. I usually like to take 1 big deep breath and then allow my breathing to just kind of peter out into its normal state and just really tap in with that. So and just allow your focus and your attention to drop beyond the normal state of functioning where you have a name and a phone number and a to-do list, and just drop below that to the part of you that's always there, it's always witnessing, it's always observing, and it is connected to all things. And just for a moment, if you need to, rest in that connection to all things and feel a little less alone. And whenever you feel ready from that state of consciousness, whatever brain waves you're putting out now, you can open your eyes and allow yourself to choose your pile from this new relaxed state of consciousness and be drawn into whatever pile or multiple piles you feel drawn to in whatever way you do, keeping in mind this part of the reading can be hugely informative. It can be an exercise in self-awareness. It can help you understand your intuition, the way that it moves, and things that fight for attention against your intuition that may even seem like intuition at the time, and you can just kind of track the way that energy is flowing. There also could be clarifying messages in the way that you are drawn into your pile. For instance, if you're drawn in to one of the piles and you think, wow, that's really not my pile, and maybe you even get a little bit angry and you're like, well, this reading's not for me. But then if you choose a different pile and that is resonant, it might show you that in that circumstance you could have gotten something wrong and maybe you lashed out, or right, there's a million ways that something here could be a clarifying message about your particular situation, especially in a general reading where we're reading with so many different energies. And if we just set the intention that here Spirit is always talking to us, and we just have to tune in and figure out how to listen. That's my little Luna girl. My cat sometimes can bring messages too, so she represents the moon, so that could be moon energy, emotional energy that's coming through. So with that being said, let us go into pile number 1. But before we do, I want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up of something here that I'm thinking about. And I've been thinking about it here for a minute, and I really feel pulled in a lot of different directions. And some of you might be feeling the same way in your own life, in your own circumstances. I've talked a lot on the channel, and it's come up in readings where I feel that we should navigate our lives and make decisions and stuff based on our values. But sometimes we have more than one value and they can seem at odds with each other. And I have been grappling with a decision to open up a little bit here on this channel about politics for the last week, because I'm a person that's very concerned about where my country, I live in the US, is going. And there's just certain things that I want to make people aware of. And in particular, it really boils down to something called dark Gothic MAGA. And I have some things that I want to share with you, but then I pull back because, as a lot of you know that have been on my channel for a long period of time, I really don't like to discuss politics on my channel. I feel like there should be places that are politics free, and plus I deeply, deeply respect people's sovereignty and your ability to make up your own mind and your own decisions. And so in my mind, I feel that this is a moment in history that I would hate myself forever if I didn't speak up and say, I'm scared. I'm scared. There's certain things I want to make sure that people are clocking, and I want to make sure that people are okay, moving on beyond this point. And I think about people in my family that I respect that rose up to that moment in their life. I think about how much of a coward I am most of the time. And I think about how hard I've worked to just be okay in my life. I have always been a member of the working class. I've never really felt like the working class, but in my adult life, I don't think I've ever truly been middle class. I think I've always been working class. And so my values are kind of all bumping up against each other, but I'm thinking about it. And if I feel like opening up later on in the reading, like after the reading is over, after the general messages, then I'm just letting you know I might do that, and I might drop a link below. I might do it, and I might not. But I at the very least, I wanted to say this. And I know that we're going to disagree. A lot of you are not going to agree with things that I say, but it's something that's just really been pulling me apart, and it just feels like a moment that I would like to live up to, and but I also have extreme amount of resentment for it, because why is it always people like me? I just don't like that billionaires can do whatever the fuck they want, and people like me who have to work so hard for everything that we have, I have to be the one to risk everything. I have to be the one to be afraid and to put myself out there and to possibly draw people's ire for just caring about people. And I don't like it, and I don't appreciate it. So it's just been weighing on me. And at the very least, I just needed to get that part out of my system. So with that being said, back to our regularly scheduled programming. And just so you know, if I do open up about this, don't expect this on my channel regularly. Like I said, I don't believe in that. And I believe that I'm here to help people through social, emotional stuff in their life. It's what I'm good at. It's what I understand. That to me is my own personal mission. But sometimes things supersede that, where if we don't get things right on a collective level, none of us can do what it is that we need to do on a personal level. And I just don't know what to do. So anyways, that's all I wanted to say. So back to our regularly scheduled programming, getting into pile number 1. All right. And by the way, there's a boycott today of like major corporations and stuff. And we're not going to be talking about our candles, even though small businesses and things, they're not a part of the boycott, but just they're not a part of the boycott, but just in solidarity. It's a good day to like not spend money if you don't have to. So, okay. These are our things, and we're going to pile number 1. Thanks, guys. All right, compassion. All right, so what is somebody saying here about you? Ooh, I'm shaking. Okay, what is this person saying? Okay, there could be something to do with songs here with this. Okay. Actually, I'm getting a channel with this one really quick before I pull any extra cards. I don't actually think this person's saying much about you, really, with this poet energy. And whenever I see this card, you'll notice that this looks like a shadow kind of figure. So this person, I think, is like not seen. So this person actually could be watching you. And then that glowing orb here, whatever it is, I always kind of get like the glow of a phone or the glow of like a computer or something. So it looks like this person could be watching you online. They could be watching you on the internet. And like with these birds, I kind of get like, tweets or like little things that you're like posting. And I feel like it could be blowing this person's mind. Emily, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, sweet Jess, you're in a safe company, and I deeply appreciate knowing our values align. Thanks. So yeah, I feel like this person is watching you, and I think they're watching the things that, some kind of things that you're saying. It could be even conversations that you're having, but it feels like it's somehow in public and somehow like maybe behind a phone. So for some of you, it could be, I don't know, maybe you get in like a conversation like on a thread with somebody or something, but it feels like it's blowing this person's mind. And to be honest, I'm not even really getting like a flavor of if it's blowing this person's mind in like a good way or like a bad way. I kind of think for most of you this is in a good way, or it's like it's causing them to have like realizations. And I don't necessarily even think that it's always about you in particular. It could be about something else. Nikki, thank you so much for the super chat. Morning boopies. As always, I appreciate your candor, Jess. Thank you for your openness even when you're scared. You're gorgeous and we love you. Thank you so much. Luna came over here too. So yeah, I feel like this person is just watching you. Like I said, I don't think they're saying much. I think this person is like really observing, and I feel like something here about their mind is being blown. And I don't even know that this person has put together some kind of like cohesive picture, but I think it's like, notice all the independent like little birds there. And it's important. Actually, I learned about this thing. It's called emergence. It's super cool. And it happens, it's this phenomenon that happens in nature. Birds, it happens with birds a lot. It can happen with fishes, where it's actually leading from the bottom, and all the birds kind of start to move in like a formation. That's not what's happening here. So this person's not a part of this emergence yet, right? But something here is blowing their mind. And the thing about emergence is, whenever scientists and biologists started studying this phenomenon, they thought that they were all following some kind of leader, like from the top, but actually everybody's leading from the bottom. Everybody's kind of like following their own thing. So I feel like that's what this person is observing, or that's what they're being invited, but they haven't quite grasped it yet. You know, something here is blowing their mind. Laura, thank you so much for the super chat. So yeah, like this person is mostly just getting their mind blown about something here that you are saying. And I feel like they might be having a lot of different emotions about it, like confusion. They don't really understand what you're saying, but then when they finally do kind of click or get it, then it's like, oh, and then I think it leads them to having some kind of other epiphany, and then they're like, oh, and it feels like they've had a lot of epiphanies just observing you, just watching you. Another thing is, I'm kind of getting this feeling of, because I looked over and on my whiteboard, and I have no idea why I wrote this, because sometimes I just like write reading ideas up there, but I literally am seeing on my whiteboard right now, who is talking about you and why. And that's kind of aligned with this reading, like what are people saying about you? So I think you could be saying something where this person is like, wait, are they talking about me? And for some, I think it could be like some kind of paranoia of like, well, wait a second, like why, like, is this person, you know how sometimes people can be like passive aggressive, and this person's like watching you on social media. And so I think they're kind of like, wait, are they trying to speak to me directly? I don't think you are, but they could be thinking that. But this also could be something like in solidarity, like, wait a second, like this applies to me in some way. And it could be like this aha epiphany moment. Because for some of you, I've mentioned this before, but there was one time in my past, and this has been several years ago now, and I can't remember what I was struggling with, but it was some kind of problem on it. Like it was something I was trying to like figure out how to approach. And it was really bothering me, and it was really stumping me. And I literally walked by a TV that's just on like in the background in a public space. And there was a Justin Bieber, and he was like on The View or something like that. And literally I was just half listening to it, and he said something, and it just clicked in, and it was the answer that I was looking for. And I was like, whoa. And I just like stopped and looked at the TV, and it just was crazy, because I always thought of Justin Bieber as this weird strung out like kid that got thrown into fame. I didn't think of him as like having wisdom or something. And it was just a major lesson that you never know where this moment's teacher is going to come from. And I feel like maybe you didn't even mean to or something, but like you said something, and this person was like, you could have answered a question this person didn't know they had, or this person could have been, you know, not knowing how certain things like fit together. This could be a person that was kind of trying to piece together a plan, or piece together a worldview, or piece together some kind of like, and somehow you like aligned those things or certain parts of it that was very helpful. You know, when you're doing a puzzle, and like it's so satisfying when you get like that little block, you know, where it's kind of coming together, but then you kind of start to get that first solid chunk, and you're like, yeah, I'm doing a puzzle. Like I'm succeeding at doing a puzzle. Like that's kind of what it feels like. And that's little soul over there that's being wrangled, I think. Oh, it's Luna. Oh, interesting. Because soul, it's like more of like their philosophy, helping them to piece that together. But actually, it's Luna. So I think this person is possibly, and this might tie in with that emergence concept of like leading from the bottom, of like where they think leadership comes from. Because they could have thought, well, I need to get my philosophy in order, or like my philosophy doesn't necessarily make sense, or that's what I'm trying to put together. But then actually, it was their emotions. Their emotions was like causing them to, because I think of the moon energy, right? It causes fears and illusions. It makes people see things that aren't there, or it makes people just distort certain things. And this person didn't realize that was actually getting in the way of some kind of like cohesive philosophy or something. And I feel like you could have just, and this is the kind of people we are, right? This is the kind of people, thank you, Jesus, Lord, Krishna, whoever in heaven. These are the kind of people I tend to draw near me, is people who are like this, people who are trying to figure things out, and we have this level of conversation. This also reminds me of that quote that's like, small minds talk about people, big minds talk about ideas. And I feel like you could, I think you talk about ideas, actually. But this person could have thought, remember I was like, they kind of wonder if you're talking about them, but I actually think that you're talking about ideas. It just like clicks in for them and it's helpful. And it's this emergence because it feels to me like you're in some kind of cohesive energy within yourself. And again, I'm seeing like the moon and the sun energy, like your emotions and your philosophy, your inner world and your outer world. It's aligned and it's powerful. And it's almost a pick up your cross and follow me kind of energy, but it doesn't feel like you're a zealot preaching that on the mountain. It just, your energy is kind of showing the way. Like, look at this. And we can all be in emergence together. We can all lead from the bottom and be in this like beautiful formation, because almost you got to be in alignment with truth to do that, right? If you can be in cohesion, because they're all dealing with the same wind pattern and everything. And so they're just kind of moving in this really fluid motion, and quickly too, really, really quick. And I think this person could have even been afraid of that, because I actually saw this was like a few weeks ago, and it spooked me. It really spooked me because it's winter in the northern hemisphere where I live, and I saw these birds and they were like doing this weird thing. It almost looked like a mating thing to me, and I was like, I don't really like that, because I'm pretty sure birds don't mate in the middle of winter. I could be wrong, but it freaked me out. And then I was like, oh wait, that's emergence. And it scared me at first, and I'm like kind of being cast back in that moment where I was like, I don't really like that. That's like spooking me out of it. But then I realized it was emergence, that I was watching this beautiful like phenomenon. So this person could have been like scared about something, or they didn't really know what you were saying. And then all of a sudden they started having these like epiphany moments. Mama Heat, thank you so much. A dozen eggs. Oh, thank God. We've been paying $17 for a single egg and splitting it for dinner over here. I'm kidding. Yeah. So, and I think that this person with the tear energy that's coming through like on the bottom, this could be this person went through some kind of very difficult storm, or maybe you did. Maybe that's it. Maybe you were talking about that. You also could have been telling your story, like, or sharing something. Like, remember, this is kind of social media post for me. So you could have said something that happened to you, and then this person was like, wait a second, that's what happened to me. Like, we are all that, you know, like, yeah, you're the one who stubbed your toe. Remember that? I'm kind of getting that imagery now. Remember back in like the heyday of Facebook, where you just be like scrolling on your phone, and no doubt you were like eating a snack. And then there's always that one person that just like posts the picture of like their bloody toe after they stubbed it. And you're like, why? Why is this a thing that you have to like take the picture of and make sure all of us are aware of? Like, you could have even just said like, I stubbed my toe pretty good, and then we would all know about it. But no, like, now I've like food in my mouth, and like, you know, it kind of reminds me of that, but like on, but not like extreme or gross or anything, but it feels like you could have opened up about something and this person saw themselves in it. And it could have been about like a difficult storm that you were going through. Or for some of you, you could have written something under like this person's post of them saying something that they were going through. And whatever you said blew their mind, or was like helpful, or pieced together something. And it was just really helpful. And again, I don't think that this person is saying this out loud. This doesn't feel cohesive yet. This more feels like initiation, or of like an aha moment, the beginning of a thought, the beginning of an idea, something here like that. And this person hasn't completed that process yet. So it would be like, if they did say, it would come out like gobbledygook. It would be like, oh, I just really appreciated what you said the other day. And they don't know why. And they don't, because they haven't like completed some kind of, process with it yet, you know? Yeah. So let me see what else this person might be saying. Okay. So when I picked this up, Bed of Lies came out, by Nicki Minaj. Does she, okay. It's like, do you ever think of me when you lie down in your bed of lies? So there could have been something here that you shared about like being lied to, or like discovering your partner in bed with someone, realizing everything was a lie or something. And it's like, wow, we've all been through this, or I've been through this too, or something. I just heard that was very eloquent. Like you could have said something that's like a harrowing emotional experience, and whenever you're in it, you just kind of feel like, blah, blah, blah. But then you just succinctly like summed it up. Also, Body Like a Back Road came out. So I think this person is feeling like you look really thick, you know, in a good way. Foolish Games. Yeah, in case you failed to notice, in case you failed to see, this is my heart bleeding before you. This is me down on my knees, and these foolish games are tearing me apart, and your thoughtless words are breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. So you could have mentioned that like these foolish games, and this person could have thought you were playing a game. Because that's the level of consciousness that they exist on, or that's the kind of people that they're used to being around. But really, I think some of you were just trying to share your heart, or you were trying to point out like somebody's foolish games are hurting your heart. They're breaking your heart. And this person is like, whoa, actually, yeah, right? Oh my gosh. And then like, no, so you were honest about something. I feel like there's something here that you were like raw and honest about. Actually, and you know, remember I wasn't even like kind of planning on saying what I just said. I just felt like I had to if I wanted to bring it up like towards the end, and then I started getting all emotional. Like I really wasn't planning on doing that, but then that kind of fits with this, you know, where it's like you were vulnerable in some way. And this song is called No Filter. So you could have just like, you could have not been polished. You could have not had a filter. I was trained, I was kept in a cage, and no one ever thought I'd break free. They always said I'm too weak. I was played, I was always afraid, until I told myself I could speak. Better watch out when I use my tongue, because I'm a loaded gun. I love this song so much. It's so empowering to like speak your truth. Or I just heard speak truth to power. And that's something that you could have done here. And maybe this is a person that thought that you were this way. Like they thought that you were like meek and mild or something with this. They never thought I'd break free. They always said I'm too weak. I was played. I was always afraid. And you could have just opened up like that. Like I was played. I was wrong. I was tricked. I was always afraid. I was kept in a state of fear in order to be kept in a cage, but no more. And I'm going to say exactly what happened to me. I love to watch BJ Investigates. And by the way, I got her merch and it just says they lied on it really big. It's one of my favorite shirts. So you could have said like they lied, like about something, like they lied about me, or they lied about this, or they lied about that. And I think this could be a thing too, where sometimes people are too shameful to admit when they have been duped or when they were taken advantage of, or because the shame, for some reason, whenever we get taken advantage of, the shame goes into you because you feel like, well, I should have known better. I should have been stronger. I should have done this. I should have avoided that. Instead of, wow, you're a real piece of shit for doing that, because you knew the whole time you're a real piece of shit and you like lured me in. Like, no, you know, so you could have like, people could have thought that you would have been too ashamed to like say what happened to you. But anyways, I was seeing BJ Investigates because she has this thing at the end of a lot of her videos where she's like at this press conference and there's this like big powerful person that's like always attacking her. But she's like, and you best believe I'm going to be saying everything that you tried to do to me. It's so empowering. It's like, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to be quiet about like, it's truth to power, something here where you could have shared an experience where you were under somebody's thumb. And this could be anything. Like you could have shared an experience about your job where your boss threatened to fire you if you this or that. But I feel like this person's mind is blown. And I think it's also because this person may see themselves in some way, shape, or form. And I kind of get that it's like a physical reason, but they could see themselves as being stronger than you in some way, or having footing that you might not have, or having like being taken seriously in a way that you're not. And this person is kind of waking up to your strength, I think. And it feels to me like an emotional strength, a strength, you know, there's a strength to being vulnerable and putting yourself out there and knowing, like, risking ridicule and risking it, putting skin in the game for the things that you care about or you believe in, or to try to get justice for yourself or for somebody else. There's a courage, there is a bravery to that you can recognize if you're at all a human, and if you're in touch with your own humanity, or even if you disagree with somebody or you didn't look at it from that perspective before. It's like respect, like game recognizes game. Well, courage recognizes courage. I recognize what that took out of you. Even if it wouldn't take the same out of me, I understand from your position why that would take a lot. And so this person has recognized your bigness, and it feels like a thought bigness in some kind of way. And just like the Justin Bieber example that I was using, where I just like, again, I would never go to Justin Bieber for like wise counsel, you know, if I was seeking it out. But yet there it was when I needed it. And I feel like this person could have been thinking the same about you, that they would never like take what you had to say seriously, or they didn't think other people would take what you had to say seriously. this is a person who could have actually wronged you in the past for some, because there's a lot of different people maybe here, because there could be conversations about you, but if it is, I feel like these people are not saying what they're actually thinking, because I feel possibly for some, there's multiple people that are having this experience, because for some, this is a group that like ganged up on you, and they're all changing privately in their own heads, and they're like, shit. And they're realizing like, I did that because I thought this person would never stand up for themselves. I'm a bully. I'm a piece of shit. And this person's actually calling me out. And oh wait, I could possibly get discovered now or something. Like for some of you, there's a bit like that. And and for some of you, you're telling your story of like how wretched, like how hurtful, and the fact that this person didn't do what they did because they were in the right. They did it because they thought they could get away with it, because they had some kind of levies of power. And they thought that you didn't have. They knew that they were going to be taken seriously for some reason, and that you weren't, and they thought they got away with it. So that's just for some. That's not for everybody. I feel like that's a side note here for some. But you opened up and you actually started talking about how difficult it was for you behind the scenes, and how that did actually transform you here into some kind of emerald, right? Because that to me is like kind of what this card is about. It's like that Ardra energy of incredibly destructive storms that end up making a jewel out of something. A jewel out of you, a jewel out of some project that you were working on, something here like that. And so I feel like this person has actually been in shadow energy. I also think there's something about whatever it is that you're saying that's shining a light on the fact that this person has been operating in the shadows in some way. So they've been getting away with it. They've been possibly getting away with being nice to your face, or they've been possibly getting away with saying they're doing something for this reason or that reason, but actually it's for another reason. And so they something here like that. But this person, I think, is starting to connect with shadow work. I don't know that they've started to do it. I think that you've kind of assisted them in doing the most minimal, superficial bits of shadow work, because it's almost like you mama birded it to them, their own shadow work. You processed it, you spit it into their mouth. So they haven't done the shadow work themselves, but they're aware of their shadow now, and they're aware that they've been completely operating from their shadow, their fears, their strategy. This is somebody who just whose shadow is kind of in full control of something here that they said or did to you. And this person, I think, is, for some, like they could be scared that like you're blowing the lid on something that they're doing here as well. Okay, so this person, broke ass, karmic friends. This person, there could be something here about money, like where like this person could not be doing well financially, or somebody was like lying about there could be something to do with money, but I feel like that was said. So somebody here, and okay, karmic, no facts, bullshit, making things up, and karmic friends. So there could have been some kind of karmic friends, and they were talking about money, like you being broke, or maybe you having to pay something, or, but it wasn't true. And I think part of it is like them realizing something about that, but they're not saying the truth. So there's something here that's counterbalancing some kind of lie or false narrative. About they got hooked in by something here, and I think they're having to like realize that. So anything else this person is saying, or possibly it feels like this person has maybe heard a lot of stuff and they're not saying anything, but they're being checked. It's like they're being fact checked in their own mind, kind of. Dirt digging, clout hungry. So yeah, I think they could have looked you up online in order to dirt dig, because I think they heard some kind of bogus claim here about karmic friends. Can't fully trust them. So they heard it from your karmic friends or their karmic friends. Maybe some of you shared a karmic group of people here. I just heard they lied. Oh, and I just said that with the BJ investigates. BJ investigates. She gonna find the truth. She gonna crack the case. Yeah. So I feel like some kind of group of karmic friends here, and somebody in the middle of it made something up about you, and this person was like, I'm gonna crack the case, I'm gonna find the truth, yeah. And so they maybe looked you up, or yeah. And somebody here is clout hungry, says anything, does anything, makes shit up. Somebody here is making stuff up, and this has the quality of projection on it for me. Because narcs, they love to project. They love to tell you exactly what it is that they're doing, but they say that that's what the other person is doing, who's actually in the right, who's actually sane, And so I think this person is being confronted with a lie. They're being confronted that they were actively lied to because somebody here has something to prove, or they have something that they're trying. They have a narrative. I just heard damage control. They have some kind of narrative that they're trying to control. Somebody here is trying to fake flex, or they could be accusing you. There's something weird about money here with the broke ass and the fake flexing. I don't know if they're accusing you of this, or if that's what this person is doing and they're trying to hide the fact that they're trying to fake flex. But there's something weird about money here. Acts rich, flosses money. Flosses money. I don't know what that means. Acts fancy, shows off, etc. Flosses money. So somebody here could have said something that this person didn't understand, or that you wouldn't understand, but you kind of think it's an insult. Look, impersonator. Somebody, yeah. This doesn't feel fresh though, to be honest. This doesn't feel fresh. So for some of you, this is maybe because this person's in shadow energy. For some of you, all of this is happening in this person's mind where like they were trying to outrun some accountability energy, or they were trying to outrun some kind of truth about you. So they made up all of these lies in their head. In other words, they deflected, they repressed, they projected a certain image on you. But remember, I told you this person's in full shadow energy. So that's what they were doing. And then this person was like, I'm setting out to prove my own agenda, but I'm going to call it research. And so they set out to do like research on you. And then when they see what you're up to, when they see the things that you're doing, who you're speaking with, what you're posting about, it's unraveling this person's shadow. And I think that you're a big part in this person's shadow work journey. And it's starting with their thought process here as well. So this is a funny one. I don't think they're saying anything about you, but this person's currently processing lies about you that they've either told themselves and or been told by other people with an agenda, with something to hide, who is in deep shadow energy. It's a part of some kind of transformative process. And I think I'm supposed to tell you here from spirit that some kind of trial that you went through, possibly with this person or with these other people, it's not in vain, because this is how you feed spiritual energy in a good way. Like you could never have tried to bring this about. That would be you being in rescuer energy, right? And getting sucked into that victim, rescuer, persecutor. But I feel like you just being yourself and then having these people project all over you something nasty that actually belongs to them, that they can't own up to. They wanted to hate you. They wanted to make you the scapegoat. All you were doing is being yourself. You were persecuted against. And for some of you, you didn't even know you were being persecuted against. You just kind of knew that everything was weird around you and that people's actions didn't really seem to line up with their words, or, hypocrite kind of energy territory. Everybody's really nice, but you're always ostracized. You're never believed. And, that kind of thing. You just this feels light, light at first, before you just kind of had to realize that this isn't adding up. Like in some way, this is not adding up. And spirit is just wanting you to know that pain that you went through at first, and then like you transforming that pain, because it's probably very painful for you to realize that you're surrounded in enemy territory at this stage of your life, wherever you met this person that's saying these things or thinking these things. It wasn't in vain. You helped spirit in some way. And it was just through you being yourself and really actually living up to the moment. Remember what I said? Living up to the moment. For you, living up to your own standards and your own values, and not projecting all over people, not repressing certain things, but actually processing it. And it's had this kind of knock-on domino effect, I think, in this person's life. They're way far behind you, and they're not in control of their own shadow work journey. They're not like, no, I got to get to the bottom of this. I want to be a good person. They're not there yet with this person. I think that it's just, you're kind of the engine of like this shadow work. But they are transforming, and I think they are starting to feel lighter, and they're realizing that look, your light irritates their demons. You're still having a net positive influence. I mean, this kind of reads like an exorcism to me, where it's like you're holding it down and like there's holy water and this person's like, and it's like painful, but it's getting the demon out, like as a metaphor. I mean, or maybe not a metaphor, I don't know, but that's kind of what it feels like. And it's painful, but this is a healing crisis. This is the kind of pain that leads to something actually healing and transforming. But this person probably hates you the whole time because all they can relate to is like the pain of it, even though they're sort of the source of the pain, and living in a lie and living in repression and stuff. But they're blaming you. There's a lot of that. This person is, and possibly this group for some of you, they deflect quite a bit out onto other people. And they're not responsible for anything, even as adults. They're not responsible for cleaning up their messes, for cultivating healthy relationships, for speaking something directly. And I think that you have done that. And for some, this person was thinking that you were less than them in some way. And here you are, the one being strong, speaking directly, being honest, not running from the truth, and overcoming all the bullshit that this person and these people tried to put on your name. I just heard they tried to sully your name, or somebody did around this person. So, let's see. Anything else? There's something here about money that's being said too. I can't tell what it is because I just looked down and saw the word wealth. So we had fake flexing, we had broke ass, and now we have wealth. So it's like, I don't know. There's something weird being said about money. Anything else that they're saying here? Accumulate good karma, growth, and achieve many goals. So they're saying that you're doing well. And for some of you, maybe this person thought that they buried you. I'm hearing that quote that was like, they buried me, they didn't realize I was a seed. And so you just started to grow. The Bayou, thank you so much for your super chat. Just joining. So I don't know where you are, but I'm here. We're wrapping up pile number 1. So yeah. Let me just get some of this. I kind of want to say, what would this... I'm afraid to contact you. Spineless. This person is... they're afraid to contact you. Because you're the truth. There's some truth that you have here, and this person didn't expect you to know it, to be smart enough to figure out... This, like I'm telling you, this is a person who was thinking less of you. They didn't think that you would ever put something together, and here you sit with the full truth. So this person has to crawl their weaselly ass up to you, knowing full well that you know exactly what they said about you. You know exactly who they hang out with. You know exactly what was going on. And it was no thanks to their scruffy ass, you know? So of course this person is afraid. But I think this person would like to make contact. They would like to ask you. It says you came closer to anyone, and I know it's a distraction from your pain, but with this, I'm getting like, this person distracts themselves from their pain, possibly with hanging around with people that are not great. I'm becoming a better person. This person wants to tell you that they're becoming a better person, and I think you're like, that's really great. I'd like for you to finish that process, like somewhere away from me. I knew exactly what I was doing. This person knew exactly what they were doing. I'm telling you, and you caught it. In some way, you caught it, you pieced it together, and they were thinking less of you. They were thinking that you wouldn't know what they did. You wouldn't be smart enough to piece things together. And they certainly thought that you weren't going to be strong enough to tell them exactly where they can go with their bullshit and their little dog too. And here you are doing that. And again, this person was thinking less of you, and now they're getting a good look at themselves in the mirror for the weaselly little drowned rat that they are. Sorry. You guys know how I get. I don't really like this kind of energy because this feels like a liar. This feels like a weak person. This is giving the impression of, this is a person doing their best cosplay, but this is like a weak person's version of a strong person, a dumb person's version of a smart person, right? It's that they're trying to be something that they're not actually. And this person actually thought they had like a superior position, an upper hand that they didn't in reality. And even though but you can see who they really are because they tried to use it against you. And that's who this person really is. And I don't think that you should forget that too easily. I think this person is changing. I think that they're not in charge of that process themselves. And you're kind of the only energy that I think is speaking truth to power in this person's world and just kind of knocking over all their lies and all their bullshit. And their lies have to do with their self-image, the way that they see themselves. But they can't hide from you. You know what they are and you know what they did. And I feel like that's actually really uncomfortable for this person because they kind of trade on lies. They trade on image. They're a paper tiger. I guess it is who I think it is. Love that. Okay. Yeah, right. He takes my money. Yeah, they buried me. They didn't know I was a seed. Okay, so that was pile number 1. Oof. Good Lord. I'm just going to spray myself with some rose. I just heard the roses really smell like boo, boo, boo. That was you to pile number 1. Your roses really smell like boo, boo, boo. Okay, let me just have a little drink here and then we'll move on to pile number 2. All right, if you're just joining us, I'm just going to throw that up there while I'm compassioning everyone. But we just did pile number 1, which is the poet, and we're moving on to the mentor. Compassion. One more drink, lip gloss, and then we'll go. We phoenixing. Hello, chaos. I'm moving, so I missed it. But the last lines that I caught confirmed that this was my pile. Well, happy moving to you. Pile 1 was a group of people for me. Just know that they're continuing to lie to each other. They're not saying this out loud to each other, but each one of them is kind of starting to realize. And they don't want other people around them to cotton on to the truth of who they actually are. They still hope that other people around them believe they're paper tiger. This is a group that all is kind of this paper tiger, hypocrite. I lead by image and not by real energy kind of. And they're meant to actually reflect that back to each other too. So. Okay, we're moving on to pile number 2, which is the mentor. All right. So. All right, what does pile number 2's person say about them, Spirit? Or what have they said? I just heard, I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. I think they're talking about something that you've helped them with or that they benefited from. Dang. Okay, so this person could be saying that they're very anxious because you blocked them out in some way and that you don't want to have a relationship with them. They could be saying that... Okay, so potentially for some of you, this is Mars and Gemini energy. So Mars can be like a fight, an argument, right? Some kind of selfishness that has gone on in Gemini energy. Gemini is a group of people, but it can be like people that are just around you day to day. This could be friends. I just heard anemones, anemones, like a sea anemone. I don't know if that's like I don't know what that says to you, but I just thought it. It could be siblings. It could be merchants, people that you're around day to day. You don't even necessarily have to have that close of a relationship, but there's some kind of group like that. And there could be some kind of gossip. And on one end of because Gemini is the twins, right? So somebody here was in Mars energy and it caused somebody else here to leave is what they're getting. So I don't know if this person did that and made you leave, or if somebody in this group did that and now this person's feeling anxious because now you don't want to speak to them. It doesn't feel like it was this person. It feels like it was somebody else that was like in a group that's around them. And they're saying that person was aggressive. That person was selfish or schmegdual towards you in an inappropriate way. And it ran you off. And that possibly you're feeling anxious or like you ran off because you were afraid and possibly of like a two-facedness or something. And so you blocked. Now for some of you, I just heard they're not taking my calls. They're not taking my messages. And for some of you, this could be the Mars person. So just take this however it resonates. If it's the Mars person, then you know exactly why you blocked this person. And they could be given a little sob story to possibly a mentor energy. If it's the Mars person, the person who was competitive, ran you off, then I feel like they could be giving a little sob story to somebody that they consider like elevated or whatever. This is the kind of energy that might misuse that as well. There's somebody that I used to be very close to, and that person would always call me crying. Like I would never hear from them for like long periods of time, and they would call me crying, and I would talk them like off the ledge. And sometimes we'd have the same conversation multiple times in a day, and I never really thought anything about it. But then once I would get off the phone with them, they would send me a text message that they sent to like their boyfriend or whoever they were mad at. And it would say every single thing that I just said that I felt was like beautiful. And it was coming from like this place of, well, here's how to look at it. And here's how, and they would weaponize it and throw it at that person's face. And I would be like, is this what you took away from our conversation? They would completely weaponize and misuse and everything that I said from what I felt like was, I was trying to help them, but they would warp it and say that I was saying that about the other person. It was wild to me. So there could be some like, I don't know, level of some of that going on here as well. But yeah, somebody here is definitely feeling anxious, and they could be even saying things like, I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't think, I can't like, Yeah, they're discovering something here. They're discovering that something is at an end. I think they could be, for some, somebody's telling their therapist. Like, they're like, I realize that this is fucked. Like, either I fucked this up so bad, or I let someone around me be so aggressive towards this person under the guise of friendship, but this person was two-faced the whole time or whatever, and I realized that I fucked this up. And like, now this person, like, they literally, I keep hearing it, they're not taking my calls. So you could like block this person, or if this person tries to call you from a different number and you pick it up and you hear it's their voice, like you just hang up immediately. You know, it could be something here like that. So this person they're wanting to go on the journey with you. And this person, I think, sometimes has these moments of like, well, I think that I'm feeling confident enough to, or I think they could, if they have a way of watching you, whatever way that could be, this person's like, well, it's making me feel like a little bit hopeful. And I think I could crawl up to the line and maybe offer this person a little bit of something. But then they're like, well, actually what I did was like really bad. Like this was some kind of like permanent end here. And this person sees it as well. But they feel like connected to you. They want this Two of Swords to turn to the Two of Cups is what they're saying. And they want to start some kind of new beginning. And they're actually talking about your strength, like that you're really in the power position here. It's your decision. Like you get to decide. You get to decide if you hang up on them every single time they call. You get to decide if you call the police when they come onto your private property. They recognize that you are in like full power or control here. There's emotions here, and this person's feeling very nervous and very anxious. What's ironic is I think this is the exact energy that you were in whenever you were like being treated whatever way around this person or by this person. I think you could have felt like very anxious, and you could have felt blocked off actually. And I'm hearing, I think it was the Robin Williams quote where it's like, I've learned, or he was saying something like, I used to be really afraid of being alone, and now I've learned that the worst thing in the world is to be around people that make you feel alone. And I think for some of you, this person is recognizing that. So this person could have taken somebody's side over yours, this Mars energy that's very aggressive, that's very short-sighted. Because this Mars is strategic, but it's very immature. It can be Mars is a soldier. It's not the general. The sun is the general. Right? So Mars, it can be strategic, but very short-sighted. So they could have gone along with some kind of very strategic, but very short-sighted plan that actually somebody that either they put forward and possibly used a group and they didn't think it through. And they're like, wait a second, that was aggressive. Wait a second, that was, I just heard sexual, or wait a second, that was selfish. Some kind of, Mars is a malefic. So they were in some malefic energy, or they allowed somebody else in that energy. It was a plan. It was a strategy. It was not very well thought through. It was aggressive. And it made you feel anxious, and it made you feel blocked off, and it actually made you feel ganged up on, and it made you feel like you couldn't have, this is Moon in Libra. Libra is like, let's sit down and have a fair and balanced conversation. But it feels like there's a Mars energy here who levied an energy of a group. So that those nice and Libra scales, because it feels like whoever this is, y'all should have been able to have a one-to-one conversation. I think you believed in that before whatever like went on happened here. And then this person involved a group because they're a dick. And then boom, it was like they tried to really weight things in their favor. And they were like, I don't understand why this person doesn't want to have a Libran relationship. And it goes, and in your mind, you're like, you seem incapable of it. Libra is one-to-one. It's I listen to you and you listen to me. You brought your gang of backup here to go at my throat to bolster your side. That's what you just did. And who knows how you did that, because Mars, again, is a soldier. It's a warring energy. It's strategic. So what lies did you tell people to, in the short term, get them on your side here? And you want to, and now you're saying, I don't understand why we can't be friends. You're the one behaving as an enemy, as a combatant towards me. So this person has like karmas that they're working out here, and they're recognizing that they got themselves in their own like position, in their own situation. And they're recognizing that they wanted this loving energy, but, the ends and the means are one. So this person wanted some kind of loving energy towards you, but then behaved like an enemy the entire way towards that. And they kept telling themselves that so for some, this person knew this was wrong. They knew this was no way to be. They knew this was immoral. They knew this was disrespectful towards your energy. They just thought that they were going to bully you into this Two of Cups energy. That's really the long and short of it. And that's not how this person wants to be, and it's not how this person thinks of themselves. But they were either pulled into somebody else's bullshit. They were really duped. And it's on them, because I can just see how immature this was and how ill thought through it was. And possibly they're saying that you are this mentor energy, or that they went to a mentor. So for some, they could be talking about this with a group of friends, and they're like, listen, I was talking this out with my therapist, and my therapist helped me see this from a higher perspective, where this was not the right thing to do. I was incredibly disrespectful to this person. I can actually see that this person is correct. The way they read my energy, the way they read my approach, and therefore the way they read my intentions was correct. Because I was saying I wanted this Libran relationship, but I was treating them like trash. And so they're understanding it. They're seeing it from this higher perspective, and they're like, they don't know what they could do to like undo this, basically. They're feeling burdened and they're feeling responsible. I think they could be telling somebody here that they want to take responsibility. But I think whatever they did here, because there's a difference, there's a discrepancy between their actions and their words. So this person wants to have a conversation with you, but a conversation at this point, given the gravity of what's been done here, and you've already highlighted discrepancy between this person's actions and their approach and what they claim to value and what they claim to want from you. So it won't fix it. Like this person saying, I want to be your friend. You've been down that road with this person, and I think you would kind of be like, I know what that word means to me, friend, but what does that word mean to you? Because I thought I was your friend before, is what I'm hearing. I thought I was your friend. Look how I got treated. I got muscled around. You muscled me around. We had one fight and you muscled me around instead of just having an open, honest conversation. That's a lot of information to have about a person. So, and I think it comes from an anxious place within this person, but it doesn't. If they get anxious, listen, a lot of us have anxiety, right? But this person gets anxious and then they get mean, or like they get anxious and then they get like, and it just justifies it. There's an extreme amount of unconsciousness. It's like this person, I think, felt anxious about something. And this has not been brought into the light that like, as soon as they feel anxious, they feel like they want to take some kind of action to relieve that. And so their mind will just co-sign anything so I think they fell prey. This is how they fell prey. When you're looking and you're like, how could you believe that person? Because again, I'm seeing it's immature. It's not well thought through. It's obviously aggressive. It's not Libran. It's the opposite of Libran energy. And you're kind of thinking like, how could you have ever participated with that person? And how could you have ever believed that? And the reason is because when this person gets in a state of anxiety, something shuts off and their mind just co-signs everything that they think, or that they're very easy to be convinced in that state that they think is going to relieve them of that anxiety. And for them, they just want things to go back to normal, or and so even though this makes no sense. And if this person was at a baseline, if they weren't in a panic state and their mind was just functioning normal, this person would be like, obviously that's not going to work. And obviously that's not a correct thing to do. And so, no, it's not something that I'm going to participate in. That's not something that they would know that. But this person, there's some kind of like anxiety that this person's talking about. For some of these persons in therapy, and they're finally talking about like their anxiety, and they're having to grieve this. They're talking about some kind of hidden strategy here. There was a hidden strategy. That's something that you know. And somebody here meant to do what they did. And it's because they were trying to ram something over the finish line, whatever it was. And this person, I think, either got sucked into that bullshit against their better judgment and against their own personal set of values, or they were the one that did that. And they know that they put you in this state and where you don't have the truth. And you're also being inappropriately mirrored to. So these people all basically just mirrored, like, I don't really give a shit about you. I don't care that you're treated fairly. See, that's what I mean when I say I'm a friend to somebody. I give a shit that you're treated fairly. And if I'm around, you'll be treated fairly. If I know that you're not being treated fairly, I'm going to tell you that I don't think that you're being treated fairly. I do that every single Friday. It's just, that's my definition of friendship, right? And this person knows that like the way you were treated does not reflect back how valuable you are to this person or to this group of people, how balanced you are, right? And I think that something here that occurred, there was a tug of war is what they're showing me about like putting in some kind of like new order, because something here needed to change. And I think it's that you're not being respected because, I really think that spirit was trying to throw this person a bone with whatever happened here. Because this person, I think in their mind, they were like, I would like a relationship with pile number 2. I would like a conversation with pile number 2. And spirit's like, I know what a relationship is. Relationship is Libra. And so when I'm looking at, okay, you want to go from here to here with this person. Well, that means this person gets treated equitably. They get treated fairly, right? So I'm going to put you in a situation where you're going to have to talk that out. And this person, and I think I'm just hearing this is karmas from past lives too, where this person's consistently, this is a big thing that this person wants to accomplish in this lifetime. I'm just getting that very strongly. They want a relationship with you that's close, that's Libran. They want that. They just don't know how to get it. So spirit will actually put them right in the middle of a situation where they have this choice of, are you going to be treated fairly? And I feel like there's also this question in being treated fairly and you just being baseline respected is them just having an honest conversation with you and allowing you to make your own decision. That's how you respect somebody. That's how you bring goodwill into a situation. This person needed to check themselves, and instead they ganged up on you because they thought that that was going to like get them what they wanted. So they needed to take a leap of faith in the right direction to establish a new sense of order in your dynamic. And for some of you, this is like a parent or something, then you could have been like in a young adult stage. And maybe your parent had always like infantilized you or something. And you're not a kid anymore and you have your own life and you are setting your own boundaries and they have to learn how to respect you in a way that they haven't in the past, and your relationship should like shift and change. So for some of you, again, that's the shifting of the order, which is healthy. You do that all the way up, right? So that's what this person was being asked to do. But instead, I think they established a new order in a negative way. Yeah, they cause some kind of fight here. And possibly introduce some kind of competition. Mars can also be a competitor. So they could have pulled up somebody from a friend group or from a sibling group or a merchant group in order to be like, oh, well, I hang out with this person now. You know how you used to do my nails at the salon? Well, now this bitch does. You know, and it's very aggressive. This is aggressive. This is not what friends do. So, yeah. Because they were trying to establish an unequitable situation, a codependent relationship. They could have tried to get you in a subservient position and call it fairness. Look at that. He's holding the Libra scales here and call it fairness. And for some, this person was trying to, you know, because one thing I read about the Six of Pentacles whenever I was learning the tarot, and it's always stuck with me, is that this is one of the hardest dynamics to break, where it's actually very unequal. And usually this kind of dynamic is started by the person in a needier position. And they go to this person to get their needs met. And I think that's what this person was trying to engender in you. But they wanted you to be the one to ask for assistance. So for some, this person was trying to sabotage you, or they brought somebody in to sabotage you. But they didn't want it to be traced back to them. And they wanted you to go back to them for help because you still see this person in a positive light. You still think that they're your friend, but they're actually not. This is fucked up. You've got friends, right? And you got enemies, and then you got whatever the fuck this person is. This is the worst enemy that pretends to be a friend. This is the kind of thing where once you realize it, you're like, get the absolute fuck away from me. Yeah. Or they could have been used in this way, where they could have had the better relationship with you. And somebody that they trusted always intended to out that they had a secret association, and they kind of, whoever that was wanted you to feel on the outskirts or something like that. And and they wanted to kind of make this person the bad guy. That's another thing here. So they really could have gotten played. Never did he use his wits less, is what I'm getting. Okay, anything else that this person's saying about you? You make them happy. You make them happy. Things used to be really good. For some of you, this was like in childhood or like when you were younger or something. And for some, they're saying like, you just have this way of making them happy, and it's super fast. And I think this person also says like that they would love to like go on a vacation with you, or just they want that, to spend some time with you because you're just such a happy person. And yeah. And you're also like part of you making this person happy is that you follow the rules. Like you consider Saturn to me is bureaucracy. This is kind of what I wanted to speak about. Like what I was saying earlier, Saturn is rules. It's agreements that we all agree to kind of be bound by. Because if you want to be ruled by the group, like a democracy or like a friend group, you want everybody in the group to be taken care of. Well, I don't know if you've noticed this, but people tend to be different from one another, right? And they have different ideas and things. So you have to come to certain agreements, which can be protocols, procedures, things that we absolutely don't do, things that we absolutely do, right? There are certain laws, things that we all agree to be governed by. And you follow whatever that is because it's respectful. And because you follow whatever it is, that tends to produce consistent results. So they're saying that because you're very consistent, that's what they're saying. You abide by whatever group, like laws. So if you work together, this person's like, you're the person that never leaves your side work for another bitch. You're that person. You're very consistent. And it's because you care about other people and you care about pulling your weight. You see what I'm saying? You never leave your work for another person. And if for some reason that happens, people know that something's wrong. And I think people would genuinely be concerned and not annoyed. They'd be like, hey, is everything okay? Because you're that consistent. So, and that also makes them happy. And it actually takes stress off of them. So they could be around a lot of people that don't actually do that. It's actually an antisocial act. And they just, and they're just not very like considerate. So they're saying like you're very considerate and you're very consistent because you tend to the group and you adhere to whatever agreements the group has kind of, and they know you're not a square because of that. They know that it comes from like a really good place within you. I just looked down and saw that Catherine said coffee. By the way, I'm back on coffee, but just like, occasionally. I just wanted you guys to know. Yeah, so they want a reunion with you. They see like you as just being like their happiness. They don't know how they could have messed this up with you and why on earth. Like it feels like they did something impulsively. And if they had just taken literally a moment in time to reflect on what they were doing and who they were doing it with, this person would not have risked your connection because you make them so happy. And you're their Four of Wands. Like this person just didn't think is what I'm getting. And they lost big because of who they associated with. And that is not an accident. That to me, there's karmas from past lives where this person has consistently done that. Tasha, thank you so much for the super chat. How could a Gemini go without coffee? If you give a Gemini a coffee, she will read the tarot. Yeah, they know that they broke your heart. This person broke your heart, or they stood by people who broke your heart here. And they know that you're so consistent, and they know that they like ostracized you. You're the last person on earth who should ever be ostracized. It seems like whoever they chose over you, these are very antisocial people. They really are selfish people. They only, or like there's a huge, like even 50% of this group that is like that. They're very selfish. They don't give a fuck about other people. And yet this person's standing up with those people, and they left somebody like you out in the cold. And it seems like you are like above average too. You're not just doing the basic things. You go above and beyond. This person kind of is beside themselves. They're like, why would I do that? On what planet is that like rational or reasonable? So this looks kind of like a therapy session. This person is possibly seeking some kind of advice or some kind of higher perspective from this. They want to clear the air. They know things were shit in the past. They know that things need to change. But they feel like there's restrictions. And those restrictions are because I feel like actually this person really has no right to say that they're caught off guard in any way. Because like I said, you're a very consistent person. And I think that you have certain rules of conduct. And I think they crossed your boundary in a way that they knew would be crossing your boundary. Possibly they didn't think that you'd ever find out. I think for some of you, this person never intended for you to find out that they were a part of this group. They knew that you had a problem with this. They knew that these people were your enemies. And yet they felt, what the fuck? Like this is giving double agent. This is giving traitor. This is giving treason. This is giving it's giving that. And they just never expected for you to find out because this person knew that this would cross your boundary in some way and that you're very consistent and that there's another boundary. Then they get pushed back further from the fence and that this person knows you're going to hold your boundaries. They know it. So they should have seen all of this coming. They should have seen all the writing on the wall. But then this person, it's calling them to resolve their karma with this group, I think is what this is. It's calling for them to speak out. It's calling for them to say what is correct and what is not correct, what they will participate in and what they will not participate in. And ironically, I think this is something that you're very good at. And I think this is something that they know exactly where they stand with you. And that's why I think people have to get really sneaky. People have to get sneaky in order to fuck with you because it's known that you're in the right. It's known that you're a positive, pleasant person that plays by the rules. So they can't come at you openly. Because the system and whoever else, in the light of day, these people lose. In the light of day, they'll get checked 7 ways to Sunday. That's not true. That's not right. Why are you picking on them? 7 ways to Sunday. So if somebody wants to fuck with you, there has to be so much presence of mind involved that we call strategy. And that's the group that they involved with. This group was so determined to fuck with you that they had a very presence of mind. This is the karmic load, because this wasn't a whoopsie. I think for this person they did, but somebody here, at least one person in this group, somebody that started this, they were so determined to fuck your shit up. A good person who follows the rules and everybody knows that that's who you are. That's evil. So this person colludes with evil and they get what they get for doing that, basically. They're getting their karma is what I think that is. This is so beyond disgusting. Because I can just feel your energy here. That sun energy, the Saturn energy. That's a do-gooder. That's a rule follower. It's wrong for somebody to come at you in the first place. And the group would have protected you if they had done it in the light of day. So somebody here, it's Scorpio, it's backbiter, it's betrayer, it's nasty, it's underhanded tactics that any person worth their salt would have put a stop to. And that's what this person gets to live with about themselves. Yeah. Now you're at it. This is karmic. So now this person is karmic. So you are at a distance. You are healing. This person is watching you heal. They're potentially watching you ingratiate yourself or move with a group of people that is sane and is different than the kind of people this person chooses to be around. Praise be to whatever you praise. And that's kind of their punishment, I want to say, is look at what you have around you and look at what you chose to not associate with or stand up for or align with. And that has real consequences. And so, but you're at a distance from this person. That is absolutely supported by spirit, and you are healing. And this person is being forced inwards. They got to think about what they did, basically. They got to think about what they did, and like, this is the connection that they had with you. It feels very natural. And they just couldn't help but like be in a functioning dysfunction and move away from that and take a giant shit on it. So that's what they brought this on themselves. And really, truly, this person is not okay with the way that they behaved. They know it's wrong, but I think they've been hiding from it because I keep coming back to this. They just didn't think that you were going to find out that this is who this person cavorts with. This is a double agent. That's who this person is. Listen, I'm a Gemini sun, but I got strong Saturn there. I have a lot of karma around that. But it's also put a lot of restriction on that natural Gemini energy. But I'm telling you, this is like very a Gemini energy where it's like, well, I don't know. Over here, I'm this person, and over here, I'm that person. And I don't think this person has a lot of that. Yeah, I don't know why I'm saying this, but my Saturn is also in Sagittarius, which is like the guru, the teacher. I've had a lot of teachers in my life that have really put strong restrictions on me to really think about where I'm polarized, and to try to do the work of like integrating that. And this feels like this person's just kind of living in this very polarized way and not thinking about it and thinking they don't have to think about it because people are not going to find out that one side is over here and another side's over there. So, yeah. I always find out, even when I don't want to find out, I find out. I wonder what that is in your chart. It seems like a very unhappy blessing. Yeah. I've been healing for years, dude. Nice. Yeah, they're saying that they trusted the wrong people. They're saying that they are a noble person. I think for a lot of you, this is not necessarily the person, but I think you don't care because this was your friend. I think other people that they were around are fucked up and that they're aggressive towards you, but you also know those people shouldn't have been able to land one. They shouldn't have been able to. These other people should never have been able to land one. They should never have been able to punch you on the chin. And the only reason they could reach your chin is because this fucking traitorous asshole. That's the only reason. So you don't really care that this person didn't mean to cause you harm. They did. They have no right to be that unconscious. Yeah, so they're saying that now you're at a distance and you're healing and that they trusted the wrong people, but they're actually a noble person. I think this person thinks of themselves as a noble person, and I don't think that they are a sadist. I think they surround themselves with people who have cruel intentions towards you. And that really says a lot about a person because, like I said, you're coming through as the sun and you're coming through as this do-gooder, rule follower, consistent person that makes people happy. And it just says a lot. To judge me by my enemies, if a person like that is your enemies, oh, I'm judging you. All right. I feel too like somebody in this energy that you're in, the sun energy, the Saturn energy, this is like if somebody crosses you, you know exactly why they did it. And they could have a problem with a greater system as well. Like this is almost, for some of you, I'm literally getting, you possibly have grounds in a court of law against something that these people did. Like somebody here could have done a criminal offense, or if this was like at a work thing or something, like, I don't know, it feels like this is letter of the law. Like for somebody here to offend you, they would have had to offend a broader system, a broader code of conduct, and something where some level of restriction can be put in place on these people. It feels like by the outer world, by authority. And for some, they use this person to circumvent that authority this reads smear campaign. So they're going to lie. They're going to recruit this person in. And that gives credence to this too. So where your boss might be like, yeah, I mean, those people all suck at their job. This person's great at their job. I would be jealous too, but then like this person, they're like, well, that person's friends with them. This is unacceptable because a lot of evil couldn't be done if you didn't have this weasel. I don't give a fuck that you don't want. I can't with this person. Anyways, I feel like you understand where I'm coming from, and I'm just going to compassion this person. This is kind of more unforgivable. At least these people know that they're mean. I'm getting that quote from Mean Girls with Janice Ian, where it like all blows up between her and Katie, and she's like, at least me and Regina George, we know we're mean. But you act like, oh, I'm so sweet. I grew up in Africa with all the little birdies and all the little monkeys. Like, no, you're a mean girl. Like, it's something like that where this person, it's like, why did they do it? This person like dissociates from their meanness, from their aggression, because this person maybe did want to land one. Maybe they are in some kind of quiet competition. But this person, I'm even hearing them in my mind like, no, 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 no. I'm your friend. I'm sweet. I'm always the lovable one. Why do you associate with people like this? You better get to the bottom of it. There's something here that needs to be owned up to within this person. Why do you hang out with people like this then? Is it so they can punch and you can be like, I had nothing to do with that. I would never do that. There's something funny going on with this person. All right. You can't outfox the fox. Yeah. They don't have a problem with aggression. They knew that this... I feel like I'm just talking in a loop now. And I think that's what they know to expect. Like, you're really not going to let this person off the hook. So anyways, that was pile number 2. I called their bluff. Good. This is the kind of thing. I'm from Missouri. It's called the show me state. So the crux of that is nobody wants to hear this. Everybody wants to see what you do, who you hang out with. The proof is in the pudding kind of thing. That's what this person reminds me of. Somebody who needs that kind of messaging. All right. Oh my gosh, I have to stretch my legs out. All right. So we just finished the mentor, which is pile 2, and now we're moving on to the hunter. So we already did the poet. We just did the mentor, and now we're moving on to the hunter. It's their family. Interesting. Okay. Moving on to pile number 3, the hunter. Are you laughing at me, babe? Pumpkin?
3 looks like a boob. New Pantera.
What? 3 looks like a boob? I'm not getting it. Oh, okay. All right. Like from far away. Okay. So they could be talking about your breasts, pile number 3. Maybe if it's not, you know how sometimes people use boob as an insult? It's like, oh, he's such a boob. And it means he's like a dud, but like, I don't know what boob means as an insult. But maybe for some, they're like, oh, that person's a boob. Or they could be talking about your
like
breasts.
Patsy, like an easily fooled person that you can trick into anything you want.
Yes.
Fall guy.
Oh my gosh, Fibonacci sparkles. You're from Missouri and briefly lived in Colorado. I'm from Colorado and briefly lived in Missouri. We're migratory mirrors. I love it. Okay. Big boobs. Maybe. You could have any kind of boob. This person's talking about them. What a segue. Okay, wait, let me find it here. I have literally never looked at this card and thought that it looked like a boob, but now I'm not going to be able to unsee it. So there's something here that this person also could be like, now I can't unsee it. You could have pointed out something about this person's physical appearance or something. And they're like, oh God, I do look like John Hemingway when I turn to the side. Great. Now I'm never going to unsee that. It could be anything here like that. This is funny to me. There could be something funny too, about this, or clever. This person can say that you have a way of being funny or clever or making them see something in a new light that they didn't. And if they find it amusing, I feel like, or they find it funny. Okay, let me just see. Well, maybe I do want to use that. Okay, so what does pile number 3? Okay, at least I'm laughing with this one. This one feels like maybe it's a better energy. So what is pile number 3 saying about pile 3, or what are they? What have they said about pile number 3? They feel free when they're with you. Oh my gosh. Okay. A lot of happiness. Like they feel free when they're with you. You make them laugh. You make them feel like unencumbered by certain things. They really like your family if you have one. They really like your kids or your kid if you have one. Maybe for some of you, they feel like you are looking over them. But this isn't a very like warm, if you're a leader, or this person could see you as a leader, and that could be in the workplace, but that also could be some kind of social leader. And they could just be saying that like they really like that, and that you very lovingly look over them. You brighten up certain things. You help them see things that they didn't see before. That's what I was trying to get at. But it feels like just this warm guiding light presence. And you just have a way of making things better. I think Okay, interesting. We got the Tower and the Page of Cups. So this is some... Again, okay, so when you make this person see things that they didn't, I feel like this is a healing tower. It's like, but it feels good and it's something that needed to go. And a lot of times for the Tower, I think of like mental structures in our mind that we're really like tied to or attached to, or a way that we were structured to look at something. Like, again, I've never seen a boob in this, but now I will always see a boob in this, you know, but this was like some kind of healing Tower energy, and it makes something here like more flexible. It has a little bit more give, or a little bit more like this. It's nice. This is a very pleasant energy. I feel like this person actually really likes you. They could be talking about how maybe you went through a difficult time, or they did. They could have gone through a difficult time before they met you, and they knew that something needed to change, but they possibly didn't know what needed to change. And then here you come with your like beautiful, warm energy, and you made them see the good in themselves, and possibly you helped them tear apart like what needed to go that they didn't see here in the past. But also for some of you, this person could know a little bit about your backstory, and they could know that like you were going through a difficult time and that something here needed to change. And so for some, you do this for others, but it's because you did it for yourself, and you know how like important this is. They feel like you're a blessing. This person honestly does. They feel like for some of you, you were sent to this person. I'm literally getting that in like their dark night of the soul, in their darkest time. And you, I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. Okay. For some of you, I'm getting this sense of like this person thought that they needed to cry about something, or that something was going to be like a disaster or something. But actually, I'm seeing them kind of like, wait, I don't need to cry. Or like, wait, this is going to be okay. I just need to do this or that. Like, it's something here like that. What else? What do they say? I think they say that they like you. They like hanging out with you. And for some of you, this person doesn't hang out with you socially, but they would like to hang out with you socially. Like, they think that you'd be fun. I just heard you're a hoot, you're a riot. And they could be saying that they don't know if something is dead in the past, something to do with you, something to do with like a behavior that you have or something. Partying, maybe. Like, so maybe they don't know if you would. It feels, okay, this is a group that feels very much like in the career side of your life, where you provide some kind of function, you're very well put together. And it feels like you're put together, but there's an ease and there's a casualness, like you're very well integrated. But it feels like in your personal life, maybe it's not that same energy. It's partying, it's non-committal, it's, you know, something like that. So somebody here could be like, yeah, I don't really know if that's over, but, yeah, and for some, they're just saying like, I'm just doing my own thing. I'm just doing my own thing. I'm happy being by myself. They're really not, this feels good. This feels like a light kind of energy. It's like, I really like this person. They really helped me. I feel happy and fun whenever I'm around them. But somebody here is also just like doing their own thing. They're not really sure if like something here is over. Yeah, they're trusting God. I feel like they're trusting spirit. And something here, whoever is saying this about you, they could have had like some kind of spiritual awakening, I just heard, or spiritual experience. But this also could have come into something that they're working on. And I'm kind of getting like a creative project. It doesn't feel like a project. It feels like knitting or needlepoint or something. And this person's like, I'm learning how to crochet, and it's honestly changing my life. And I'm just honestly content to sit under this tree and crochet in the afternoon. I'm genuinely happy. And yeah, you came here and you asked me about pile number 3, and that's what I would say about them. But this person's not like clinging or like, you know, anything like that. And for some, they could just be waiting for you to come to them, like to show up or something. They could be talking about a car or a car trip. They're waiting. I feel like this person's just like, listen, if this person's two sides are imbalanced, then they're going to move forward. The chariot moves forward at speed, right? For some of you, it's like, listen, when they get a car, they're going to show up here. And that could be metaphorical. For some, that could be literal. If this person owns a set of wheels, they'll show up. They'll show up. I'm just kind of turning it over to God, you know? But it feels like they got to get their light side and their dark side in order here. They got to get their work side and their personal side together here. This person needs to sort themselves out. They're a good person. I'm happy when I'm with them. This could possibly go somewhere, but I'm also not going to be the nag. I'm not going to force them to do anything. We'll see what they are. They get to decide who they're going to be. And if they're going to come forward, they're going to come forward. Like, basically, that's kind of it. This is, yeah. And we can work together. This person is like, they need to send me a message that they want to work together, basically. They need to break some kind of mold that they've already been in, basically. And then we can proceed together. But it does feel like there's a checkpoint here. But the checkpoint feels like this person's like, you got to decide if you're moving past this checkpoint. It's not an ultimatum. I don't care what you choose. I'm happy either way. I think you're great. And if you're going to come past this checkpoint, then I'm interested in collaborating in some way. And for some of you, this could be work. Like this could be a person. I don't know who you're asking about here. This could be a person that is like, maybe they do want to invest in something that you're doing, but they think it's kind of risky to invest in somebody when they're at the bar 3 nights a week doing balls of cocaine in the bathroom. Even though it doesn't seem to have affected your work, they just don't want to get involved in business with somebody who's like that. They like to see that stability that they see in the workspace go over, because otherwise they think it's just a matter of time before soggy taco it's going to fall through. This could be a romantic partner, and this person's like, they seem to be somewhat together in their work life. They're not together in their personal life. And before I proceed forward with this person, they got to get themselves sorted out. There's alarms going off. So that could be Archangel Michael. There could be some kind of like, they're trying to avoid like an emergency situation, or maybe there was an emergency situation that you had to go tend to, or that they had to go tend to, or I think for some, they're like, I can see it coming from a mile away. So this doesn't need to be an emergency situation, you know? I don't want to have to call an ambulance or like whatever that is. This person's super fine on their own. I just heard super fine. You might think this person's super fine. Sorry, it's so loud. Take that however it resonates for you. It just keeps getting closer and closer. We sort of live like away from the center of anything. So I wonder what's going on. Yeah, but they're doing their own thing. They're happy in their routine. They're happy alone. This person is mentally focused on something, is what they are. This is the, you know, like when you get in that flow state and you get to that place where you're so focused, you kind of forget you have a body. Like that's kind of the energy that I feel this person being in for large swaths of the day. And it could be school. It could be work. It could be, I think if you wanted to have a conversation with this person, or if somebody asked them about you. So what is this person saying? Somebody would have to ask them about you, I think. And they would say something, it'd be very casual. And then they would, I think, just naturally turn the conversation to something that they're doing, like on a day-to-day basis. That brings them a lot of, this feels like a happy, contented joy. And they're happy being independent. This person could actually be making strides like in their career. This feels to me like somebody who's stable in and of themselves. This feels good. This energy feels good. Yeah, just one foot in front of the other. This is a very earthy person as well. So I think they see things, and this is how they would synthesize your energy too. They see things through an earthy lens. So they could have strong earth in their chart. So they're going to talk about the one foot in front of the other. They're going to talk about the seed that they planted, metaphorically, or probably literally for some of these people. They're going to be like, I planted this basil plant. Boy, has she been growing like a weed. But yeah, so they're like literally the seeds that they're planting and how they're growing. Are they robust? Did they have to trim the weeds a little bit? They're talking, they see things from what has staying power in their life. And I'm kind of noticing that where they're saying like, you have staying power in a certain way, but possibly not in another way. And they aren't too perturbed. They recognize it. They're not too perturbed by it. If you cross that line, they think you'll just naturally, and it's right, then you'll just naturally come forward. Because there's something here that feels kind, I just heard, and natural. And it wouldn't be, it's very like, they look up from whatever it is that they're doing and it would just be like, hey, like, that sounds like me. Virgo rising. Yeah, there is like a lot of Virgo energy here. If there's been some kind of split, they trust it. There's a lot of trust in like things are going to work out the way that they need to. This also, there is another police car. Hold on. I need more lip gloss, so we're just going to wait. There could have been something happen here. And they're like, well, we're just going to wait. I don't know. I'm not going to be bothered by it. Let me just grab my lip gloss really quick. I have no idea what's happening. So for some, this person's like, I have no idea what's happening. I wonder what this is. It's the middle of February. I don't think we have an emergency planned for February. We do have certain farms around here, and I know I was talking with this one lady, and she does say that they have they work with like the fire department or something to do drills. I don't know. Yes, let's put on some lip gloss. So again, some kind of emergency could have happened. Something could have happened. 5-alarm fire is what I'm hearing. And you guys got separated and this person's like not too bothered by it. I don't know. They're like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with that. And I'm also not going to be too bothered by it. This person is focused on something that they're doing. And it's not even in like a negative way or anything like that. This person feels comfortably focused. They like whatever it is that they're doing too. Or it gives them a sense of accomplishment. Because this is, like I said, this very earthy person. So this is a person that could be like, I'm doing a research paper on the way that crystals germinate in caves at 7 degrees Celsius. And you're like, and you like that? And this person's like, I love it. How much time do you have? I'll talk to you about these germinating crystals in the caves. You know, and you're like, I'm actually all the way good on that. But thanks. Yeah. And so, yeah, they feel like maybe there's been some kind of separation here, but they also feel good when they're around you. They may, I don't know. It just feels like that. It is what it is kind of thing. I kind of feel like you could be the person looking at this person or their boobs. I'm joking. You could be this in this hunter energy trying to see in this person's life, and possibly you see this person in this kind of energy. And oh yeah, so I'm kind of getting that maybe you're stuck in some kind of addiction, and I don't know what I can show on YouTube, so we'll just cover these people's up. But yeah, like you're in this kind of devil energy, you're possibly stuck in some kind of addiction, or you're bound by something here. And this person knows that, I think. On some level, to some degree, they know that you're dealing with something, and that they know it's unsavory, and they know that you have to decide how you're going to deal with that. I think for some of you, this person's like, you have to decide if you nurture that. Oh, the boob. If you nurture that, or if you nurture this. And it feels like this is a choice, possibly between people, or between jobs or something, but it really just feels like this comes down to an energy that you want to foster in yourself. Do you want to attach yourself to some kind of karmic energy? It's going to be impulsive. It's a devil energy. It does not bode well for your long-term success. This person is so earthy. This person sacrifices to get somewhere in the longer term. This is definitely a person with a vision. And this is an earthy vision that they have too. This is not somebody that's like, and then I'm going to be a multimillionaire and everyone's going to kiss my ass and I'm going to be on every bulletin board in town. This is somebody who has a very earthy plan. It's very middle class. It's very one foot in front of the other. I'm going to accomplish this. I have a goal, and I've broken my longer term goal down into smaller term goals. I'm happily on my path. I'm proud of myself. It gives me a sense of self. It gives me a sense of accomplishment. If you are that way as well, come on in. But if you are another way, she gonna have to have you. She gonna have to have you. Okay? Like that's very much what how this person feels about it. They don't want trouble. This is somebody that doesn't want trouble. This is also somebody with a far vision. They understand. This is, you know what it is? Maybe that's not the best way of saying it. It's this person understands very clearly. This is a very clear-minded individual. They're very aware about how what you do right now is tied to what you do in the future. I feel like I was just in my Martin Luther King voice, like at the podium, and I was like, and what you do right now. You know, like really drawing that, or the JFK, the Obamas, like the powerful speaker of like, and what you do right now. So this person can have like a way of speaking. They might not speak very much because this is a doer. This is somebody that knows how to do certain things. But I feel like if this person can look up from what they're doing, and if you can get this person in a conversation, then they're really inspiring. Or like the way that they talk about those crystals growing at 7 degrees in that cave, for some reason you care about it now, you know, because this person is like, and then, and they somehow connect it with, again, and if I can grow these now, then do you know what that's going to mean in the future? We could have a whole colony of crystals, and they may even sprout sentience, and they may even be able to plan your day for you. I don't know, but like they make it like you tie it in with like, isn't that amazing? Like, you know, this person has a way of really connecting with things, and it feels like earthy things, like connecting with the practicality of something. And they have a way of making the practicality shimmer, or just, it's always shimmered, but I think around this person, they'll be like, it looks quiet and it looks like it's not moving, but look at it. Like they have this way of, not in an idiocy sort of way, not in a, I have the attention span of a goldfish kind of way. This person has a way of introducing you to like the magic of life. And that's why this person is very vehemently against, I feel like, whatever this is. They don't need it. This person doesn't need it. This would hold this person back, because it feels like you might be in some energy here where it's like you need the rush, because the everyday magic and the subtleties, it feels so small to you. It feels big to this person. This is a sensitive person. And I'm talking about in their body. I think this person may have like sensitivities. Take that however it resonates. But this is somebody where small sounds are louder to them than to other people, kind of thing, you know, because their energy is more subtle than, yeah. I feel like something may have happened here, but this person's not holding malice or anything like that. It could have been, this person is so resilient. This person's kind of like a rubber ball in their energy in some way or another, because I feel like they saw something here and it was like a tower moment, and it possibly was that you're one way, I think, in a career field, and then you're another way in your personal life. And this person thought some kind of stability that they saw in one arena of your life translated over into another arena, because that's how it would work with this person. Woodwork came through. So there could be something to do with woodworking, earthy energy coming through. But whenever they saw it and it was a tower moment, but I think this person was just like, they just sort of folded it in, is what I want to say. They just sort of folded it in. They were like, oh, okay, well, it feels like maybe the two of you were working to build something together, and they were like, well, that got crumbled. But then this person just immediately went to like some kind of Page of Cups energy. They were like, I can't win here. Yeah. I like this person's energy a lot. It feels like this person sidestepped this tier energy because they knew that something... This is a person who's like very honest with themselves, but this doesn't feel like air energy honest with themselves. This feels like they read earthy energy very well. The writing is just sort of on the wall. They just choose not to argue with reality, sort of thing. Yeah. You know what I'm getting? This person is more than happy to allow you to choose who you're going to be, and to allow you to choose how you're going to approach your life and the situations that you get yourself in. And I think you may have gotten yourself into a situation with this person. And this person's like, we'll see how you handle it. I'm not going to throw you a rope. I'm not going to, shout nasty things at you. You're going to decide who you're going to be. And that's going to determine what we're going to be. I know where this person feels like they know who they are. They're comfortable in their energy. Yeah. This person, I just kind of get that this person has, I just heard that they are trained. This person, okay, so there's a quote that's like, you either fall back on your instincts or your training. This person may well have some kind of training, some kind of certification that they took, something that helps them, or this could be therapy or something that helps them. But I also get that this person like had home training. This person has good manners. They're very polite. They know how to engage in the public space, kind of thing. Yeah, I think this person may consider that you've lied to them. And I think you're not in this. Okay, so I think this person is considering that you lied to them, but you're not in this person's life, and that's fine by them. Because if you're not in their life, their energy, if somebody who lies to them is not in their life, then they're fine. They feel safe. They feel comfortable. But if you come forward, you're going to come forward with the truth. That's the threshold. Remember, there's some kind of threshold. This person is waiting for something. So don't think that you're just going to approach this person in this dark horse energy and that this person will be polite to you, but they're not going to accept you intimately. You'll be in their life for the buffet dinner that you both have to be attending, but you'll be right back out again. Because this person is like, if they're just saying like, you'll show me that you've changed because you're going to be completely honest. You're going to tell me that it was shit that you lied before. And that's how I'm going to know we're on the same page. You're going to do it too. You're going to take the full initiative, because if not, I don't want to give you the answers. I expect people to be good people when they're around me. And that's all. This person in some way is positioned in such a way where they know they've got the upper hand in terms of judging whether or not you are doing something because of the content of your character or because you don't think you can get away with doing something otherwise. They are firm. That's why they're chilling. This person feels chilling to me. Rubber go away, yeah. Okay. Sober by Selena Gomez. We fall for each other at the wrong time, only for a moment, but I don't mind. You don't know how to love me when you're sober. Yeah. So for some, yeah, you don't know how to love me when you're sober. For some of you, I think you want to get this person out of their comfort zone, or you want to get this person at a party so that you can be drunk when you talk to them. And because it'll give you some kind of like courage. But I think this person is uninterested in that. Okay, wow. I think you feel this person has a hold on you. I'm seeing Mercy by Shawn Mendes here, but I feel like this is your energy. You've got a hold on me. Don't even know your power. This person really doesn't. This person does not know that you are preoccupied with them. I gotta say, I think that they don't. I stand 100 feet, but I fall when I'm around you. Okay, this person does not understand this about you, that you feel intimidated. I think this is for you to work out because, I don't know. I think there's a way. How do I describe this? Because I feel like I've been trying to get it at it, but it's basically like if you decide of your own accord to be truthful with this person, because they know something that they know, and they know that you don't think that they know, which makes them able to judge you, basically. So it will actually go a long way for you to be like, hello, I was a piece of shit for this, and this reason. I don't have to tell you. I know you might choose to walk away from me, but I'm choosing to be honest because I'm a person of character. You have this, and that's, I think, what I'm meant to highlight for you here. This is an opportunity. Without this person being in this position where they've got this dirt on you, they know you lied in some way. Without that, you have no opportunity to be with this person again. Seeing as they have that, you can overcome this because you can still show yourself to be a person of character. And that will override whatever you did back here. Because this person, I think, has this idea of like, look, people go through phases. People are a certain way. But I think what this person respects more than anything is somebody who takes responsibility for themselves and somebody who just shows a momentum behind them of growing and growing in the right direction and growing towards them. And that's where this person will be like, oh, and look, you're here. That's what they're kind of looking for. And I don't think this person thinks much about it. And I don't think this person would put too much pressure on it or anything. But basically, that's their take on it. Yeah. Show me an open door and you go on and slam it on me. I kind of think that for some of you, you feel like you've tried with this person because you're like, every time I'm around you and then you just block me out. You weren't truthful with this person. And I'm telling you, that's the thing that'll change it. And it'll be that and only that. Yes, this person is going to keep slamming the door. If you are still in this energy, okay, well, not that. If you're in this energy, this person is just going to shut the door. And you're like, every time I'm around you, and you're not changing the one thing you've got control over. What do you have to lose? I mean, this person's already outside of your reach, and you have to decide if you're going to make them back in your reach. And it really is just a matter of being a person of principle, a person of character, and a person of honesty. And doing that sometimes means saying you fucked up in the past in a way that you didn't live up to that. And you see that now, and it's showing growth and it's showing change. Some of you have not been around a person like this before. That like views something, this is mature. This is like a mature, decision. It's time to decide about this relationship. I think this person feels like it's your decision. I just heard I was open to having some kind of honest conversation, or I was open. I showed up in the way that I needed to show up to be authentic. You didn't. So you need to decide about why you didn't do that and if you want to, because my decision is made. If you're not, there's something here about a threshold. If you're not going to rise to meet this threshold, the decision is made. Soulmate. Your soulmate loves, accepts, and respects you unconditionally. This person actually does. They're not going to accept bullshit treatment. But if you show that you are no longer a person who feels it's acceptable to treat people in a bullshit way, for whatever kind of devil energy you were in the past, because this is a group that feels like it was in devil energy in the past. And I think if you're honest, you know that about yourself. You took some kind of low-hanging fruit. You did something impulsive that you thought was going to win out, but really it was a very small win in the moment and it cost you a lot in the long run. And that's intellect too. That's not just morality. That's just intellect. So this person will respect you for that and they will accept that. But you have to show the change. This person can't just be like, yeah, I accept that you are currently a liar. That is attached to, no, they're not. They can accept that, but you will be far away from them. I hope that makes sense because I feel like I'm trying to explain it, but I just want to feel safe in my connections. It's baseline. This person, I think that some of you are really thinking this is like some kind of, it's baseline shit with this person. Somebody literally in the comments was like, I just want to feel safe in my connections. It's literally that. It's literally Maslow's pyramid. I have to feel safe and I have to be able to exhale around you. And if this is a romantic connection, this person flat out refuses to be like the CIA on your ass. If you require a level of babysitting from your partner in a relationship, this person won't be it. because they just have too much respect for themselves. They have too much respect for their time. They look like they got other things that they're focused on. And basically, you've got to be an adult in this relationship. And if you choose to be in a relationship with somebody, you've got to show that you got the skills to be in the relationship with somebody. This person doesn't want to be your mom. They don't want to be your dad. That's entirely unsexy to this person and a waste of time. It's not, they just don't want it. They really just don't want it. So, yeah. All right. You are describing me. I think for a lot of you, this is like your energy. And this person is like, I don't know. This person's in this energy. But I think you already know that. This person was in karmic energy. Yeah, they were the Knight of Wands. So it's players. Giving fuckboy, basically. Emphasis on the boy is what I heard. Emphasis on the boy. Yeah, this person needs to grow up. And I think for some, they feel like they did grow up or they want to grow up. And possibly that you have helped them. But they just don't know what their options are. Yeah. I don't want to be his mom, and I told him that. And it's, I don't know. When you've gotten to a point in your relationship where you're like, I just, this is kind of like the man that doesn't ever help out around the house. And then his wife is just like, I mean, this could be any gender, right? Is like just haggard. And he's like, well, you didn't tell me that you needed help. And just the fact that it's like, well, you needed to tell me that you needed help. It just shows that he doesn't view himself as an equal partner in the relationship because he lives there too. It's his laundry too. So you both have to make sure that it gets done. But the fact that he's like, well, you should have told me that you needed help. It's like him abdicating some kind of responsibility here. And I feel like there's a little bit of that. And that's like the mom thing where this person's like, get up here. Like, I refuse to pull you behind me is what I'm saying. Okay. First of all, you're in your giant man body and I'm not doing it. The Bayou, thank you so much for your super chat. Pile 3 is me. My dad will always ask if she needs help when she's almost finished. Wow. He said he never apologized because I told him to F off on some childish shit. Don't do something that requires somebody to tell you to fuck off and then say, well, and I withheld my responsibility that I have to repair the relationship that I fucking broke because you told me to fuck off. It's on some childish. I can't. You know, I am really a brave person, I guess. Like, I don't know, some of this stuff, it's like, but part of it, and maybe this ties in with pile number 3, part of it is that I won't sleep at night. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to live up to myself, and I feel like I won't sleep at night if I don't do certain things. It will haunt me that I have not done what I know that I'm capable to do. That's what I'm most afraid of. I'm more scared of that feeling than somebody yelling at me in a lot of circumstances. If I feel like the person that I'm dealing with is sane and reasonable, then that's really not my main fear in the situation. My main fear is me not living up to what I want to live up to and potentially having to come back to this godforsaken land that we call Earth in order to try to do it again in order to feel better about myself. I'd rather just do it while I'm here, you know? All right. You're a human being, not a human doing. So true. All right. Okay, so that was pile 3. We have concluded the first portion of our reading, and now we're going to move on to the general messages. But first, a drink. More with the alarms. I'm going to get done with this reading, and I'm going to look outside. Oh my gosh. And I was going to say, like, there's going to be some kind of catastrophe. Okay, this was a while ago. I was on a walk. And I walked past this home here that nobody lives in. It's like an older home. And there's somebody, they literally burnt this home to the ground. Like the owner did it. They had been dismantling this home for, you know, quite some time. And it looked to me like the owners were doing it. They just did it like when they had time here and there. They're literally like sitting in their van. It was like a cold day filled with snow. And they had just lit this on fire. And I told Alex, I mean, and you're not supposed to light a house on fire. There's all kinds of crazy things that are like burning with that. And then like the whole police team and the fire trucks and stuff came in. It was crazy because they could have burned down the whole neighborhood. But anyways, that was crazy. I felt like that was nuts. Yeah. That's us Geminians. We need to live up to our own high standards. I really do. It's also like strong Leo energy. What are you drinking? I'm drinking lime seltzer water. All right, I'm just taking like a moment here. Will compassion... would rather be a beluga. had a vivid dream that I saw everything on fire in the woods. I was inside a bubble and everyone was running. And I was like, they don't see me. They can come in here and just be safe. Interesting. That's so interesting. All right, let's move on to the general messages. So, Spirit, what do you want to say? What do you want to say to these people? I'm ready for it. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, Spirit, what do you want to say? And this doesn't have to be in association with this topic. Courage leads to happiness. Adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. And while I was shuffling, I saw the blame card. So I feel like, just accepting that we learn through adversity. And I'm hearing, I like that quote from Mulan where it's like the flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. So keep that in mind and just know that because you're experiencing some kind of adversity, it doesn't mean that you're doomed forever. Trouble doesn't last always. And things always change, nothing is permanent. So even when you're going through a hardship, something's always going to change. But just accepting that we grow through adversity. This is also reminding me, I was talking to God in the car. I talk to God like just a lot, and I was complaining like you do. I wish I wasn't that way, but I'm that way a lot. Like when I pray or when I'm just talking, I'm like, I don't understand why this has to be that way or that has to be that way, or why can't I just have help? And literally I was talking to Shiva, which to me, it's like I love talking to Shiva, but I was listening to my playlist, this playlist I have, and literally when I was like, I just don't understand why you won't help me or why you won't lift this. Like, why do I have to go through this? And literally as soon as I said that, it started going dun 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 dun, which is Bittersweet Symphony. Bittersweet symphony, that's life. So I feel like there's something here about like just accepting that life is a bittersweet symphony. We grow through adversity. And worry is something that pretends to be necessary. Eckhart Tolle said that, and I just always stuck with it. It seems to be necessary, but it's actually just draining you of energy. Worry is not the same thing as processing. It is not helpful. It's not a productive thing. It's something that just kind of takes for you. So what Eckhart Tolle said in that little talk that he was giving, and somebody was asking him like, well, when I worry, what am I supposed to do? This is something that needs my attention, or it's something that I need to, and he said, is it? So whenever you start to worry about something, ask yourself what it is that you can do. Can you do anything right now? If you can do something right now, go ahead and do it. Do you have a plan for taking care of it in the future? Like maybe whatever remedy, action you need to take, maybe it's something you can't do right now, but you've got to wait till Monday when something opens, then make a plan to do it then and just drop it. Because this worrying energy pretends to be necessary, but it's just... It's not actually thinking. It's not actually processing. It's not actually helping. Worry is something different. And it says, I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. You're not going to worry your way out of a situation or out of a problem, right? Gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. And I feel like something here, it's like adversity, and be grateful that you've gone through this, and be grateful for the change in your consciousness and the change in your self-awareness and all of the positive changes that you've become aware of if you've become aware of something that you feel like is causing you to worry. It means that you've grown and shifted and changed. So actually shift this to gratitude. You've grown. This is something to be thankful for. This is something to be happy about, that you've made this much progress as a soul in this lifetime. Because there's not always lifetimes that we make as much progress. And I feel like you've really leveled up. You've made some kind of big jump. You've made a big quantum leap in your consciousness, and it's really something to be grateful for, and try to thank yourself and learn what you have to learn from it. Honesty. I can always expect the truth from others. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And growth. Yeah, that's that growth energy. So I feel like this honesty, I think some of you have to forgive yourself. I think your honesty here is what's responsible for your growth. Is that you can't always expect honesty from other people, but you can expect it for yourself. That's another thing to be grateful for, is that you've always had your own back. You refuse to delude yourself, which seems like it's helpful in the process. And that might be a response to worry, right? So being in denial about something, or stagnating something, or repressing something, it might seem like it works, but then because you're not in touch with reality and you're kicking something off, it tips into a problem later on. And so you've avoided that, I think, with some kind of honesty. Indecision is not freedom, is what I'm getting. Indecision is not freedom. Yeah. Because it feels like putting off making a decision or something. Oh, well, I don't have any responsibilities. But it's not the same thing as freedom. So it feels like maybe something here is like off of your back or something. Mama Heat, thank you so much for the super chat paradox point check. Yeah. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. So you should, yeah, okay, so understanding, this is like where power comes from, is what I'm getting. Taking your power back is understanding where you actually have the power to affect change in your own life and to get the outcomes that you want for yourself in your life. But you have to make a decision in order to do that and go after that decision that's ultimately going to lead you to some level of freedom or some level of balance. Because I've mentioned this before, but I'm fascinated with the concept of freedom. Ever since I read a little bit of Eric Fromm's book, Fear of Freedom, we really have a fear of freedom and we don't understand it. It's just an outright lie that you will be free from all influence because you are a whole organism made up of other whole organisms, and you yourself make up greater whole organisms, right? Like your family, your community. And so it's this kind of Russian nesting doll of wholeness. But we get scared. So you're never going to be free of influence because to live life on earth is to live a communal experience where there's always going to be a little give and a little go. The best thing you can do, freedom is another way of saying balance in my mind. You have to balance where you give. That's the decision here. I think some of you will be better off if you redefine freedom as deciding what to submit yourself to. Because you're always going to have to submit to something. You just are. It's the nature of life. And don't take my word for it. Really spend some time thinking about that. Is it possible to live a life? At the very least, you're subject to gravity and aging and whether or not there's famine in your area, right? There's always going to be things that impress upon you. So just remove it from your mind that you can have this like total, like I'm free from everything. It's just a lie, right? The best thing to ask yourself is what do you submit to and why? You submit to some kind of greater goal, right? And so even though when you sit in indecision, you may not have expectation coming from within, because you're putting expectation on yourself. Well, I really should be further along or something. And you don't have expectation from without. Say you want to go into a relationship with somebody. Well, now they expect you to be at dinner, or whatever their expectation is, right? And from a quick glance, it might look like, well, that doesn't look like freedom to me. So I'm going to sit in indecision and I'm going to mistake indecision for freedom. But if you make those decisions, then you struggle towards the things that you want. And you prostrate yourself towards the things that you want. And that's really the best that you can do. Purpose. I know what I'm here to do. And it connects you with purpose. So there's a trade-off here where something is going to like fill you with purpose. Love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. But I'm really getting the first part of that. I commit to the practice. I commit to the practice. And that's what life is, I think. It's just I commit to the practice. That is life. Where I wake up in the morning feeling like not P. Diddy. Thank you, Jesus, Lord above. Yeah. But I commit to the practice. This is practice, and think of it like that. You've practiced, you know better, you've learned, you've grown through adversity. So all of this is just couching yourself into what you know to be the human experience. And it just naturally leads to compassion. And it just naturally leads to right and proper action, right? So just trust yourself. Just nestle yourself in the elegant moment, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, in the elegant moment. Just anchor yourself there. Don't lie to yourself about what's going on. Don't say indecision is the same thing as freedom. That's what I'm saying. Don't lie to yourself. Just get really comfortable in being honest with yourself about what you're doing, why you're doing it, what you want, what you have control over in changing, what you don't have control over, and give yourself a break. I just heard perseverance. I know I can do whatever I set my mind to, and patience. And they're showing me this as being kind of this balance energy, two sides of the same coin. This, to me, there's a quote. It's like, trust in the Lord, but tie up your camel. And that's what perseverance and patience is. You have to persevere. You have to push yourself, your energy towards what it is that you want. And then you can be patient while your seeds grow. You trust that God energy, that creative energy, the life energy to rise up and meet you. But you make your own luck. That's also when you make your own luck, it's not just a simple, my dad used to always hide money in his sock drawer. We all knew it was there. And we would say, why do you do that? Well, my mom would say that because she would get very frustrated. But he would say, listen, you got to have money on you because if you come across a deal, you might as well not have come across it to begin with if you don't have the money for that, right? It's the same thing with your energy, with your skill set, with your positioning. If you are constantly investing in yourself and you're living up to your full potential and you're doing the things that you want to do, when an opportunity comes along, you're ready. And you're not in this weird indecision space. You're ready to take advantage of the opportunity as it presents itself to you. And you don't have that weird side because you already have your vision. You're in alignment with the elegant moment. Eventually, it's going to produce something's going to give for you at some point. And that's not the time to make your decision. That's not the time to prepare. The time to live up to who you want to be is now. Always. And it's incredibly rewarding to do that. And it's not a burden. I mean, sometimes it can be, but it's not just a burden, you know? That is the key to having some kind of freedom. So you persevere, which makes you love yourself, and it makes you trust yourself, and it makes you know where your limit is. This is exactly how I imagine some people, when there are certain sports, like noodling, for instance. You know what noodling is? It's where someone goes into like a river and uses their arm, their human arm, and they put it in a river and they wait for a gigantic catfish to bite on it and they pummel it and then they get the catfish to eat. People do that. And do you ever wonder to yourself, how did that come about? Certainly someone got attacked and they realized that like that is a giant catfish and that is like a week's worth of food or something, like, right? Certainly that's how that occurred. But there's certain sports and things that people do where you're like, at what point did you decide to fling yourself off the cliff in a free fall? At what point did that occur for you, right? But there's certain things that just unlock your own potential and your own, you know, and I feel like there's something here like that. Denial, but it says, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. We're all scared most of the time. I'm convinced of that. And once you just know that, then when your fear creeps up on you, you're like, oh, hey, I replace it with the insight of awareness, right? You just shine the light of consciousness. You're afraid. Is there anything I can do to lessen your fear? Like, I don't know, as you're going to jump off of this cliff, maybe I attach a harness to you. Would that maybe take away your fear a little bit? You know, things like that. And friendship, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. So, friendship can go, you don't have to do the whole thing yourself is what I'm getting. But also, that's like the hero's journey where you receive the call, you feel this kind of inner call. You're like, I don't know why, I just feel like I'm supposed to do this. And you leave everything familiar to go on this journey. And part of the hero's journey is you meet friends and allies. And so I feel like you possibly could have heard a call or just trust that is the way the hero's journey works out. If you're hearing an inner calling and you're looking around, you're like, I don't have the support or I don't have the resources to do that. I don't know. But you feel that it's actually like your calling or something, then just know that, like, I don't know, it's kind of this leap in the net will appear kind of thing. I hesitate to say that because some people think they're listening to their intuition and they're actually listening to their delusion, and then they get themselves in negative situations. So, but this is like an inner calling that you would feel as intuition. It's not coming from an ego place or something like that. You are going to meet friends and allies that are going to help you along the way. And I like to think that we are that for each other, you know, that a lot of us don't find the connections that we need to find necessarily around us all the time, but we can connect to each other on the internet once a week and just kind of replenish our energy. Know that there's people that are on a spiritual journey and that really are trying to live up to their potential. And that's fun. I don't know why you live life in any other way. What else are you going to do with your time? You know, I guess go to the bar with this other person. But you could also just try to live up to your potential and see where that gives you, you know? See how that changes the way that you feel about yourself, changes the way it's alchemy. Just engage with the process with alchemy. Yeah. Don't stop believing. Nice. Just read during this reading, fear is evidence that you are taking on challenges that are worthy of your skills. Ooh, I like that. Fear is evidence that you are taking on challenges that are worthy of your skills. Yeah. Huh. Because I really believe that we're eternal beings. So I think on the other side, what do you have to be afraid of, right? Like that's what I think we come here to dance with fear and to dance with limitation. And we can learn something valuable from doing that. And I concede that on almost a daily basis where I'm like, why am I here? Why would you put me through this? Because being in a body that has to eat and drink and, has to exchange oxygen all the time, all that's extremely limiting, right? And the body will pass away one day. And it's just this constant dance with limit, and fear. But in doing, because we would never be presented with those opportunities on the other side, such as we are so loved by God, Yeah. I don't know. We're all just energy again. So just make the most of it while you're here, I guess. I don't really know. Divine dichotomy. Well, I think I'm done. Remember at the beginning where I was like, and maybe I'll monologue about politics. But I think I won't do that. Because I feel tuckered out. And that's probably a good thing. But I might share a video that I just think is important to understand. I might share that on Patreon. Or maybe I'll share it beneath this. I don't really know. If it's not in the description box below, then I just decided not to share it, I guess. Yeah, maybe make a separate video about it. I could. Yeah. Just what's for lunch. Actually, we're doing nachos today. We have a lot of food in the fridge, so we're not doing tacos like usual. I made butter chicken, and it is good. And so we've been eating that, and we have leftover ground beef, and we're making nachos. What are you laughing? Because of the butter chicken? No. Oh. Catherine, thank you so much for the super chat. A soggy taco is still a good taco. To some. It's not a sharp stick in the eye,
Everybody likes the crunchy tacos.
I love a crunchy taco.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Most people like soft shell tacos. Yeah. I think soft shell tacos are the actual tacos, but yeah, but do you want it to be soggy? You of all people, you want your taco to be soggy?
No, but it doesn't matter if it's how moist it is, if it's a proper taco. People who like crunchy tacos are in denial about actually just wanting nachos.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what a crunchy taco is. It's a handheld nacho, and you're just in denial about wanting a taco.
Handheld nacho team over here.
That's what it is.
All right. Now I'm even hungrier. Okay, so now that you know where Alex and I stand on tacos, the different. He has a point. Don't forget to boycott corporations. Today. Today is the date. Taco salad uses nachos. Oh, I could go for a taco salad actually. All right. Well, thanks for being my people. Thanks for showing up. And I think I'm going to wrap that up. Okay. I'm just going to wrap. I'm always so weird leaving conversations. So this was lovely. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you when I see you. Bye, guys.